prison, and so a lot of people want to know if she's going to turn in powerful people. And I know you've talked in the past about Prince Andrew, and you've criticized Bill Clinton's behavior. I'm wondering, do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well, whatever it is. I don't know the situation with Prince Andrew. Just don't know. Not aware of it.
That was Donald Trump back in 2020 being asked about Ghislaine Maxwell after being arrested, who was the co-conspirator in the trafficking of minors with Epstein. He then was asked in an Axios interview about that comment, given that little strange.
Mr. President, the other day a reporter asked you about Ghislaine Maxwell. You said, quote, "I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, but I wish her well, whatever it is." Mr. President, Ghislaine Maxwell has been arrested on allegations of child sex trafficking. Why would you wish such a person well?
First of all, I don't know that, but I do know that
she has. She's been arrested for that. You know that.
Her friend or boyfriend,
Epstein,
was either killed or committed suicide in jail. She's now in jail. Yeah, I wish her well. I'd wish you well. I'd wish a lot of people well. Good luck. Let them prove somebody was guilty. I mean, do you know that?
Oh, so you're saying you hope she doesn't die in jail? Is that what you mean by wish her well?
Her boyfriend died in jail, and people are still trying to figure out, how did it happen? Was it suicide? Was he killed? And I do wish her well. I'm not looking for anything bad for her. I'm not looking bad for anybody. And they took that and
she's a alleged child sex trafficker.
Big deal. But all it is her boyfriend died. He died in jail. Was he killed? Was it suicide? I do. I wish her well.
Yeah. So doubling down there. Now, that brings us to modern day, where Trump is asked, any chance you would pardon or commute Maxwell's sentence? And Trump goes, well, I could. I haven't thought about it, but I do have the authority to do that.
Would you consider a pardon or a commutation for Ghislaine Maxwell if
it's something I haven't thought about. It's really something recommended. It's something I'm allowed to do it, but it's something I have not thought about.
But you wouldn't rule it out, sir?
How is that not something you go, oh gosh, no? Oh, thanks for asking. No. Oh, would I? Yes or no? No. That's a pretty easy. Oh, I haven't thought about it, but I definitely have the authority to. It's like when he would be asked, will you prosecute your political opponents? And you go, well, I don't know, but I definitely could. I definitely have the authority to. I definitely have the justification to. It's kind of what he says when he means, in case I do decide to do that, I want it to be on the record that I, from the beginning, have said it's definitely an option, which again is wild. Now, this little presser he did before heading to Scotland to promote his own golf course on the taxpayer's dime. If we're looking at more of those clips, there is bigger news even than all of this Epstein drama. And it is that it's my birthday. Look at that. I didn't know we had that. Jaden ordered up some little festivities. I have a trophy. It says, "You're the best." To me. Oh, look, and it's reflective, so it's me. It's me. Look, I'm the best. So thank you to Jaden for that. I also have this. Happy birthday to me. Wow, this feels weird when I'm the host of the show, but I'm making this a topic. Feels strange, but got to utilize these things. I also have, Jaden got some, I don't know if this is for this, but I'll put it around me. There we go. A little birthday scarf of sorts. So there we go. How old have I turned? It feels like I turned 50. I turned 23. So a lot of people go, wow, I can't believe that I'm already 23. Wow, can't believe that I'm age. My thought's the opposite. I'm like, really? I'm not there yet? I'm not even 40? Oh, brutal. Can't even rent a car still? Brandon said, happy birthday, Luke. Thank you. Jared said, ain't no party like a Lukey party because a Lukey party don't stop. Ha ha. And don't call me Lukey. There we go. Okay, so this is a strangely festive way to talk about Trump covering for a human trafficker. No? Happy birthday to me. Here's Trump saying, stop bringing me up. Talk about Clinton.
But he's over there now. I don't know exactly what's happening, but I certainly can't talk about pardons.
Can you trust what she's telling him? She's a convicted trafficker who's eager to get out of prison.
Well, he's a professional lawyer. I think he's been through things like this before. But, you should focus on Clinton. You should focus on the president of Harvard, the former president of Harvard. You should focus on some of the hedge fund guys. I'll give you a list. These guys lived with Jeffrey Epstein.
This is a fun camera shot. A nice scalp shot.
I sure as hell didn't. Thank you very much.
Wow. I feel like if you made a handbook of all the things you don't say if you're being questioned about a relationship with a criminal that you had, very high on that list would be saying, focus on other people, don't focus on me. Stop focusing on... That sounds... Like, imagine a murder suspect sitting in an interview with a detective and they just keep repeating, no, don't focus on me, focus on my brother. No, don't focus on me, focus on my producer Jaden, he did it. Focus on him. Sounds very suspicious. I don't know. Then the New York Times has this piece about Trump sending a book of his to, which is such a move, to send your own book to someone as a gift. This was a birthday gift, I think, to Jeffrey Epstein. And it's like, read my book. And it says to Jeff, you're the greatest. Which is notable because Trump is denying that he had, like in one of the clips I'll show you, maybe I already played it. But he says, you should be asking them about their friendships, because I had nothing to do with Epstein. Well, you called him the greatest. Not great, the greatest. Like, the most great. And he brought up, or was asked about Ghislaine Maxwell and how Trump's former attorney, Todd Blanche, who's now the DOJ Deputy Attorney General, Assistant Attorney General, whatever it's called, went to interview Ghislaine Maxwell, which doesn't feel like they're removing the bias from that process. And here was that being reported on.
This is video of Maxwell returning to prison just moments after meeting with Trump's Deputy Attorney General. And you can see her there. Actually, if you look closely, she's carrying a box of material. Now, Maxwell's attorney says she was forthcoming with every question that Trump's team threw at her today.
Okay. So Trump's team is the one sitting down. It just doesn't feel exactly right. He was asked, what are you hoping Blanche gets out of the meeting? And Trump brings it back to, I hope someone focuses on Obama.
What are you hoping Todd Blanche gets out of his meetings with Ghislaine Maxwell?
Well, I don't know about the meeting. I know it's taking place, and he's a fantastic man. He's a great attorney, and people should really focus on how well the country's doing, or they should focus on the fact that Barack Hussein Obama led a coup, or they should focus on the fact that Larry Summers from Harvard, that Bill Clinton, who you know very well, and lots of other friends, really close friends of Jeffrey Summers, should be spoken about.
Jeffrey Summers? And his brain's not working. He's doing the worst cover-up ever, and his brain's not working. Yeah, he said he merged Larry Summers and Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Summers should be spoken about because, Jeffrey Epstein should be spoken about, and they should speak about them because they don't talk about them. They talk about me. I have nothing to do with the guy.
You have nothing to do with the guy. To Jeff, you're the greatest. To Jeff, you're the greatest. Donald, here's my book. And the little description of the book, Donald Trump has every reason to feel good about himself these days. His early 1990s brush with bankruptcy is all but forgotten. His fortune is once again estimated at well over $1 billion, the Wall Street Journal. And you send that book to somebody. I love that. Here's Here's a copy of my comeback. It's called like The Great Comeback or something. This book of his. Let me see if I can pull back up. Yes, Yasemin Ansari said, the same DOJ that refused to release the Epstein files now expects us to trust a backroom interview with Ghislaine Maxwell, led by Trump's former defense attorney. Nah, it's a cover-up. So that about the Maxwell of it all. Trump's saying he had nothing to do with it. He's still posting about this. The radical left Democrats are doing everything in their power to distract and obfuscate from our great 6 months for service to America. This is not, I'm about to show you non-Democrats. It's not a Democratic thing. Results of which are saying, many are saying is the best 6 months in presidential history. They've gone absolutely crazy, are playing another Russia hoax, but this time under the guise of what we will call the Jeffrey Epstein scam. As things are revealed, and I hope will take place quickly, you will see that it's yet another Democrat con job. Hopefully the grand jury files will put an end to this hoax. The grand jury files, you son of a bitch. No, that's not the files that we want. Everyone should see what is there. But people who are innocent should not be hurt. People. Make America great again. And he keeps bringing up Larry Summers or Bill Clinton. If there's anything damaging on them, we also want to know. The reason why that's getting less coverage is because you, the president, now. You have the power now. Sir. This was the New York Times piece. Trump's name is on contributor list for Epstein birthday book. Okay, we know. We know. Let's not talk about Epstein's birthday. It's my birthday. If you watch Vanderpump Rules, it's my birthday. President Trump's name appeared on a contributor list for a book celebrating the 50th birthday of the disgraced. Can I just say, if anyone wants to send me a birthday book, if anyone wants to write me a note saying I'm the greatest, then just know, I promise, I won't even one time be arrested for sex trafficking. You don't have to worry that you'll be caught in a similar situation here. You can send me letters, you can compliment me, and I won't even one single time sex traffic at all. Okay, so you can feel safe that you won't get Epsteined by associating with me. My goodness, the comments are exploding. Matthew said, happy birthday. No, thank you. Thank you for the message. Courtney Daffern became a member by clicking the join button. Let's have a record-breaking new members day. Why not? That would be fun. Next to the subscribe button is the join button. That's how you become a member. You get a special little badge so that your comments come up more prominently. And you support the show. Jacoby Slap says, only 23, yet so much has happened in your lifetime. That's what I'm like, can I handle this? Like, imagine I lived a really long life, four times, right? Like 100 years. 4 times what I've already lived. I don't know if I can take that. Really? This? 3 more times? Oh, my gosh. Scott Manifesto also became a member. I appreciate you. Victoria said, happy birthday, Luke. Put some stank on it. Love it. Courtney, thank you. Saying happy B-Day from Anakin and Scarlett. Yes. These are our youngest viewers of the show. One of them is 1 year old. Crow Tuck said, happy birthday, Luke. We almost share a birthday mine tomorrow. Well, happy birthday tomorrow. Kristen, thank you. It's also Kristen's birthday. Oh my goodness. This is too many. Pixel said, happy birthday. Can we start pressuring reporters to start asking Trump about to whom the cost of tariffs goes? They just let him get away with it. I know, but when he asks, he just goes, they're coming in from China. Theater Nerd 824 said $1 per year. Happy birthday. Oh, it sent $23. Thank you. Nira, thank you so much. You've been a watcher since you had 600K subs. Proud of how far you've come since then. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I've stopped measuring by birthdays, but just that. I'm like, where was I in life back when it was 600, when my age was 600K subs. Ben said, Luke, would the meeting between Maxwell and Blanche have been video recorded by policy? I don't know. I'm guessing we'll never see that video if it is. Lucky, thank you. Kate, thank you. D4C4, thank you. Oh, this is funny. D4C4 said, happy birthday, Luke, and may every day be another wonderful secret. If I get into trouble, you're going to have to answer for that. Laura Frank, one step closer to that car rental counter. Thank you, Katie. Matt, thank you. Oh my gosh, so many super chats. Brenda, thank you. Froglet, I appreciate you. Play some music and forget the CUNT for a little while. Have a beer on me. Thanks for your amazing reporting. Oh, I'll be having a brewski tonight. Don't you worry. One single bit. Joe became a member by clicking the join button. Laura said happy birthday. Space Time, thank you. Steve Dahlhauser. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Junk Girl Patty is saying that I'm a fellow Leo. I'm not into that shit. That whole Leo shit. Okay. So the New York Times, there's too many. I don't know if I'll be able to do a show today if I keep reading these comments. Kelly Be Crazy, thank you for the gifted memberships. Alex said, happy birthday, Luke. Trump is trying so hard to move the focus on someone else. It gives desperation. Glad nobody's buying all the distractions. Let's just focus for a second on these stories, because I do have to do that for the people who don't give a rat's ass about the celebration here. And then I promise I'll get back to comments. Trump hit by devastating proof. Epstein birthday book is real. Yes, okay, we get it. It's real. We know. Trump was lying when he said it was fake. Okay, check. Schumer is saying it stinks of high corruption. The fact that Trump sent his ex-personal attorney to interview Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah, not the most reasonable. I'll remind you that Mark Wayne Mullen said it best yesterday about why they're blocking the release.
Joke. I'm sure this would be handled the exact same way. What we're simply wanting to do here is give them cover. So if my colleague...
Whoops. So he's trying to give Trump cover there. He admitted it. That's awkward. Now, this is interesting. Former top Biden official Neera Tanden, who I actually met during a thing, White House visit thing, whatever. This is hurting my head. Was asked the question, hey, and this is a reasonable question. If there is more to be known, why didn't the Biden DOJ release it?
Trump is in these files as much as it seems like he is. Why didn't the Biden administration do anything about this? An administration you were in? What do you think about that?
This is what I'd say to this. I mean, I get this all the time. So I think it's like a great question.
I didn't think you were not going to be expecting the question, but it is a question
like
that merits asking.
Anytime I say anything on Epstein, they're like, why didn't Joe Biden release the files? And this is what I'd say. Have you met Merrick Garland?
We're blaming Merrick Garland. Okay,
I mean, I'm just saying, first of all, I mean, like legitimately, the Joe Biden White House had nothing to do with enforcement on any topic. If anything, because of the abuses of the Trump administration, the White House, didn't engage in any particular enforcement matter. We barely did engage in policy with the Department of Justice. They were so arm's length to us. So, I mean, I can attest to that from my experience as DPC, domestic policy chair. We in the White House had no idea. So I can't really tell you why Merrick Garland didn't do it. I would say that he was hypersensitive about any perceptions of unfairness to a point where I think, I'm not sure justice was always even done. And I can imagine he thought, after he's doing January 6th and all the conservative blowback on that, maybe he wouldn't even look into Ghislaine Maxwell. But someone should ask him, because Maxwell and Epstein, but someone should ask him. It would have been
nice and bipartisan and nabbed Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Would have been okay with me.
Yeah, exactly. I wish they did. I mean, I wish he had looked into it.
One thought, just every time I hear people say her name, why don't we have any agreement on how we pronounce Maxwell's first name? I hear Guillon from some people. I hear Ghislaine from some people. I hear Ghislaine. I hear, this one's real confusing, Ghislaine. I don't think it's Ghislaine, but okay, a lot of people say that. I hear Ghislaine. Ghislaine. Sheila. I hear it all. I say Ghislaine, but we're all over the map on that one. Okay, so does that come off as reasonable? I mean, Merrick Garland was... I'm swearing a lot today. I hate this. Just, can I, for a second, everyone, take Scarlett out of the room? Merrick Garland was a bitch, right? Right? He was. he slow walked the prosecutions of Trump or slow walked assigning a special counsel to it. And you could blame that for where we are now. He was so petrified of conservative blowback that he would bend over like 3 times backwards. He would do gymnastics to try to prove that the DOJ wasn't being biased, but they accused it anyways. A ton. Of course, you're not going to pursue accountability for Trump without them saying it's a witch hunt. So just who cares? And I believe that if there's not a smoking gun, but there's just a lot of times that people reference Trump and he was here and he was there and he was there, and like you couldn't bring a criminal case based on that evidence, but it's enough for people to draw their own conclusions, then maybe Garland was thinking if we release this, it'll seem politicized. Or maybe they were, wanting to wait till they could build a case and then they got voted out. I don't know, but it does kind of deflate a little bit, the argument here. I do want to, actually, before I say that, I do want to just remind you, I was listening to somebody yesterday, and think about all of these through lines, okay? So, when Epstein, the first time he was prosecuted, got that sweetheart deal that was an atrocity, the non-prosecution agreement, everyone says that was just a stain on the history of justice that he got back in 2006, I think it was. This sweetheart deal. Alex Acosta was the person who cut him that deal. And then Alex Acosta, Trump selected as his labor secretary. Okay? Pam Bondi, after that deal was struck, Pam Bondi was the one who became attorney general shortly after that. And as Epstein was getting away with his crimes, Bondi was the Florida attorney general. And then she became the actual attorney general. And there's more that are off the top of my head, I can't remember, but there's so many through lines here. And to see a lot of these Trump defenders going, gosh, I just think Pam Bondi, or Laura Loomer calls her Pam Blondie, which is, dumb, whatever. But I think she is the problem here. She's the one covering up. She's messing up. And it's like, but why does Trump keep picking all these people around him? Actually, I think it was Hal Sparks I heard making this point. I know some of you watch him, and we should clap at some point. But he was saying Trump picked Bondi, who was the attorney general who could have sought justice in Florida after the sweetheart deal, while Epstein was getting away with this stuff. They knew what was happening in some general sense. She becomes the attorney general. But who was his number one pick to be attorney general? If you're thinking, okay, he made a mistake on Pam Bondi, but I'm sure his other options wouldn't have been the person who previously didn't properly hold Epstein accountable, and then now aren't holding the people around him accountable. Trump's first pick was Matt Gaetz. You think Matt Gaetz would have been more in the interest of justice when it comes to trafficking? It's bonkers. Okay, so I just want to take a pause on that stuff because there's other really important stories sometimes we miss because of the salaciousness of that. The GOP is taking food, Common Dreams reports, from kids to give billionaires a tax break. What do Louisiana, West Virginia, Oklahoma, and Alabama have in common? For one thing, they're red states. For another, they're poor states. Each has among the top highest percentages of residents on Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or food stamps, or SNAP. And finally, every one of the Republican lawmakers voted for U.S. President Donald Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill, which will result in the largest cut to SNAP in history. The bill doesn't just cut federal SNAP spending, it also for the first time shifts much of that tax burden to the states. This is a really tricky things they're doing to let themselves off the hook and go, we didn't necessarily defund it as much as those estimates say. We just are requiring the states to be the ones funding it. So, as a state like California is probably going to try to fill that gap. A state like Oklahoma is not. So state governments will need to raise taxes, cut spending, or further slash benefits to meet those added expenses. Others may eliminate their SNAP rolls entirely. One study estimates that every SNAP dollar invested in children returns $62 in value over the long term. This is one of the best programs you can imagine, because when you think of demand-side economics, you think of economic stimulation through public policy. Republicans have a broken brain on the issue of how you stimulate the economy, and they think just keep cutting taxes. If the wealthy have more, they'll spend it, they'll add to jobs. And to some extent, that can manifest in some way, but it never manifests enough to outweigh the loss of revenue because of the decreases in taxes, and it exacerbates income inequality. Whereas if you do things like investing more in SNAP, you're giving in the form of a card that somebody has to spend on food stuff, so you know it's not just going to go be spent on random things, but you're giving $1 that will immediately be spent into the economy. If you give a bunch of money to rich people, they don't immediately spend it into the economy. A lot of it goes into accounts and investments and whatever. It gets saved in some way. Whereas low-income folks who get benefits to buy food immediately go and buy food with it, stimulating the economy. And you have a conversion rate there of economic stimulation that is a great bang for your buck. And it even if you're doing it with deficit spending, can grow the economy at a comparable rate such that it's not problematic. So it's the exact economic policy that you would want. We should be investing more in programs like this, and instead they're cutting it. So GOP lawmakers aren't making these cuts because we can't afford SNAP. They're doing it to offset some of their deficit-busting tax breaks for corporations and the wealthy. Taking food from kids to give billionaires a tax break. That's what it is. And you'll have, and you know, a lot of those voters, you know who they'll blame? I can't figure out which side this is on. That was weird. Can you, wait, everyone, shh. Can you do that? It's Joe Biden. Wait. You know who they'll blame?
It's Joe Biden.
They'll blame Joe Biden, probably, somehow. These red states, the red state government will see the federal government isn't subsidizing the program as much. They'll put more of the emphasis on the state government. The state government will then cut the benefits, and people will be even more desperate and vote for an even more extreme right-wing politician, probably, who says it's because of the woke cabal that you don't have benefits. On that note, the governor of Oklahoma, Kevin Stitt, his name is Stitt, said, we're phasing out Oklahoma's income tax, finally. And once we get to zero, Oklahoma will be rolling like never before. Gavin Newsom responded, the governor of California, who doesn't have a last name like Stitt. Just kidding, he's fine. Oklahoma relies on California for critical federal tax dollars that fund education, healthcare, and apparently this new tax break. You're welcome, Governor Stitt. Yeah, what happens, and somebody tried to fact check this with Grok saying, Grok, if Oklahoma cuts income taxes, who pays for their schools and hospitals? And it says Oklahoma funds schools and hospitals via state revenues, say sales and property taxes, oil and gas taxes, and federal aid. About 30% of total comes from federal aid. Phasing out income tax could cut $2 billion plus annually, risking shortfalls unless offset by economic growth, spending cuts, or more federal funds, often from high-tax states like California. Critics warn of underfunded services. Proponents expect revenue gains. That's ridiculous. If you're getting rid of the federal taxes, you're not going to see the federal. If you're getting zero in income, not federal taxes, state taxes. If you're getting zero from state income taxes, how would the revenue go up? Seems simple. I don't know. Did I do my math correctly? Zero is less than more than zero, right? But they keep, okay. Oh, it's so annoying. I saw someone else in the comments go, well, I mean, I'm fine if they put more of the burden on sales taxes, if they raise sales taxes or property taxes, because I just don't want income tax. But income tax, you can so simply make more progressive, right? You can notch up where you're taxing people who that tax rate would be less of a tax burden to them more. Whereas sales tax, you can't do that. If you're trying to compensate for low income taxes with higher sales taxes, then that's such a regressive tax structure, because paying more on every single thing that someone buys is going to be a much larger chunk of their income if they don't make much income. Whereas on products that people are buying, if you're wealthy, that's going to be way less than you would pay if you had a higher income tax. So again, these Republican states, more regressive. And then you wonder why Oklahoma, which I think Oklahoma was the state that's doing the new like woke test, anti-woke test before you become a teacher. And Oklahoma in one of the recent studies was ranked the last or the second to last education. Maybe you could use a little bit of income tax, MFers. No? Feels reasonable. You know who has better education? Oh, California sucks in every way. No, California, then Oklahoma. You know why? Because they fund it. Okay. Whew. Man, got fired up. All right, just going to read comments and then we'll get back to the stories. So don't go anywhere. I don't know where I last left off. There's so many messages. My brain is bending. I think I read distraction. Glad nobody's buying his distractions from Alex. And then I said, Kelly, be crazy. Thank you. So Jen, thank you for becoming a member. Amber Rose, thank you. Pedals Plays, thank you. Space Time Potato, thank you. Chase, thank you. Shelly Taylor said, you need a birthday spanking. No, thank you. Can I say no, thank you, or is that a requirement? Marco, thank you. Adrian, thank you. Kay, thank you so much for becoming a member. Denise, I appreciate you. Michael, thank you. Nicole, I appreciate you. Katie said, happy birthday, Luke. It's my BFF Sam's birthday too. Enjoy being 23. My mom says happy birthday. Well, thank you. Sam, happy birthday. And Mom, thank you. Roz said, Luke, I love you 1000%. Thank you. I need a better, I'm saying thank you too many times. It sounds redundant. I mean it though. Lena, Renee said, happy birthday. Thank you for all you do. Enjoy your day, King. Yes. SWS, I appreciate you. Happy birthday to Luke and his Tucker Carlson laugh. Oh! That was good. Don't forget the pregame with Pep tonight. Oh, yes. Drinkpep.com to get yourself an energy drink that treats your body the way it deserves to be treated. It's like, imagine a drink had the capability of giving you an energy boost while making dirty, dirty love to your gut in a good way. Imagine having a drink that makes sweet, beautiful love to your gut microbiome. That's what this does. Drinkpep.com, a family business. Adam Mockler sent a super chat. I appreciate you, Adam. Let's see. Sunflower Lady, thank you. Also, birthday twins. And Freighter Precariat became a member as well. Woo! Okay. We might have to do an extra long morning show today because of all the comments. Let's see what Alex Jones is up to. No, play the whole thing. I love that. That is Alex Jones screaming, but in a different octave. That's awesome. So he wants everyone to say Elon Musk was right about the Epstein files, which is, I guess, true.
Everyone who attacked Elon Musk in early June last month for saying Trump's in the Epstein list and it's going to be covered up need to apologize to him because he has now been vindicated. Now, that doesn't mean there's some deadly evil in there about Trump. But the point was Musk learned either from Trump or somebody else, he's been proven right, that they were deciding to cover it up, and he decided he wasn't going to be part of that. So Elon Musk already had a lot of credibility with me. Now it's gone way up. We're about to break it down right now.
Okay. So he breaks it down. He goes through the whole story there. It's interesting, but I found this one way more interesting. He's saying the Trump DOJ must start addressing deep state operatives or America is doomed. What if Trump is the deep state? Have you ever thought of it one single time? The reason why they're not getting arrested, the reason why he's the one covering this up now, the reason why all of this is so confusing to you is because maybe you've been wrong the whole time about who the deep state was, about how our government works, and maybe Trump has all the power now and you still hate the government. And that's his fault, not Joe Biden's. Okay, but look at, I was kind of manic there. Watch how manic he gets.
If the indictments of the deep state don't start soon, the criminals will have nothing to fear and will intensify their criminal actions against Trump, his family, and America. President Trump, these very people tried to kill you twice that we know of. So
who? No, 2 random people did that, not the deep state. I'm a part of the deep state, and I could tell you on good authority, we didn't do that.
It was the deep state 100%.
We might have done the thick ankle thing. That might have been us. His ankles might be that size because something we did, but we didn't do the Thomas Crooks thing, I promise.
Have some self-preservation for yourself and America. And if Pam Bondi and the DOJ won't start indicting Fauci, Brennan, Clapper, Comey, and others, then fire them and find somebody that will do their duty and carry out justice. Your very life and our lives and the future of this country lies in the fucking balance. So take action now.
That's fun. He's definitely drinking pep, isn't he? That's the only way you can get that type of energy. All right.
And when they post on X and when I meet them in the streets, is we want arrest of the deep state. We want Anthony Fauci on record that created COVID and rolled out the poison shots. We want his ass indicted. We want him in prison.
Where are all the dead people? We have a lot of dead people from COVID. We don't have a lot of dead people from vaccines. Where are they? The people like Alex were saying we'll all know someone who died of vaccine, and then that didn't happen. Fauci. Poor Fauci.
And of course, they want Obama and the deep state and Crossfire Hurricane and the persecution of the American people and their attempted coup. They want them prosecuted for all the different crimes they've committed. And in the past,
name one. What's like maybe one of them?
They want them prosecuted for all the different crimes they've committed. And in the past, there was a one-party state. And so until Trump got in, you never really had Democrats and Republicans indicting top people because they were just all in on the theft. They were in competition over who got elected, but they wanted, to keep the mass robbery of the American people going. But after Trump had the 2020 election stolen, they came after him, his constituents. They criminally indicted him over and over again, all the lawfare, and we could see it. Well, unlike with Trump, where all the cases against him were open frauds, with the deep state and the Democrats, the insider...
Well, this was boring. His intro made it seem like we were going to get something so great. I love that. That's so fun. That was boring. He really he clickbaited us with this.
The future of this country lies in the fucking balance, so take action now.
Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, it's fun if you're watching it as satire, but a lot of people aren't. Before we get to this next story, I do want to say that Gen X Redux, thank you. Did I already thank Cat MLO? Where did I leave off? If I didn't, I appreciate you. We have lots of shared birthdays here. Hustlin' Pickle. That's fun. My pickle hustles. I appreciate you. And then Phaedrus Raltha became a member. I hope I pronounced that right. I appreciate you. Kyle said Luke is definitely in the Epstein files. Drinking pep cured my cankles. I'm not a doctor, but I'm going to say that's probably true. Stuart said there's an old Chinese curse that says, May you lived in interesting times. Happy birthday, Luke. Virtual birthday cake and hug. Interesting. Koraki OG became a member. M sent a gifted membership. Nicole, who's been a member for 5 months, said, from the Philippines, our president was there recently and got to see a Trump presser. That said, Trump thinks Marcos Sr. was cool. Be afraid of y'all. Okay. Mariposa, I appreciate you. They called me Luke-alicious. I've never heard that one, actually. Luke-alicious. This is interesting. So Candace Owens, we already talked about, is the right-wing political podcaster who is getting sued by the French president and his wife, Emmanuel Macron and Brigitte Macron, because Candace Owens has been on this obsessive content thing where she focuses on the thing of Brigitte Macron, or the alleged thing, and has this fixation on trying to prove that Brigitte Macron, a woman, at some point in her life was a man. Now, Steven Crowder, who's another right-wing guy, had to say, Candace, this is a little absurd. So we'll watch some of what Candace said, and then it'll cut to Steven Crowder, who again is as right-wing as they come, but even he's like, Brigitte has been able to demonstrate that what you're saying is wrong. But I think, as I've been saying, an even more interesting development in this story is, imagine, so I believe Brigitte Macron is a woman, okay? And you'll see some of the evidence here, but imagine that she were born biologically male and transitioned or something, which is, she's saying is a lie, so I believe her, but who on this living earth cares? Who, even one single person in this earth, wants to know the details of that like Candace Owens does? I don't care. Just wait. This is going to sound weird. This is going to sound weird, but just wait, because it'll be profound if you'll let it sink in. I don't care. Wait, how do I want to word this? Since I hyped this up. Candace Owens cares more about a stranger's genitals than I care about my own genitals. I think less about my own genitals than Candace Owens thinks about Brigitte Macron's genitals. Yeah. No, I feel good about that. Okay, here.
There is just so much evidence, extensive evidence, he says, quote unquote, extensive evidence that they apparently submitted to me, which you guys know they didn't, which disproved the idea that Brigitte was a man. And of course, Tom Claire is lying. We wrote to them that she's definitely a woman, and it's implausible that she's not. So we totally got this thing. We're totally going to win because we have asserted that it's implausible that Brigitte was born a man, and totally trust us, bro, that he is being honest. That was their evidence. Their evidence that they presented to us as we presented to the public was, trust me, bro. Trust us, bro. She's not a bro. It's incredible.
They actually already did directly send proof to Candace, said pictures, childhood pictures of Bridget. They did send evidence of Bridget's biological motherhood of 3 children. They did send pictures of her first, of her wedding when she was young. And there already is sworn testimony, for example, from the children and from the, I don't know if sworn testimony, but the previous husband. So she's now moving goalposts and saying, take a blood test. They did also, by the way, send the birth announcement, not a certificate, but an announcement. So newspaper clippings, pictures, sworn testimony, evidence, and this has all been provided to her for a long time.
Your clients did not present any evidence other than, trust me, bro, she's not a bro. To the contrary, there was no documents, no answer to our basic yes or no question.
Now, I know what you're thinking, Luke, you're saying all this, but have you done a deep dive? I'm sure some of the Candace fans out there get help, but if you're out there, are saying, have you even watched all of her coverage? No, and let me say it this way, I've watched essentially none of it. Let me put it this way, few people know as little about this story as me. And I hope and I intend on it staying that way. Because my interest in the genitalia of foreign leaders is 0. I always have that standard, right? Care more about my own genitals than other people's. That's always just kind of a life. And that sounds like I'm just talking about genitals, but I'm not. I'm talking about something much more profound. It's sort of like make your bed, right? Get your own house in order before you go and do housekeeping for someone else. I don't think that's the phrase, but you know where I'm coming from. Sweep off your porch before you clean the street. Like there's these basic life things that we all learn as kids. And eat your own, right? Like whenever dogs should eat their own dog bowl before they go try to steal their other. I just think as this is a metaphor, if you find yourself caring more, well, I guess people care more in a sexual context, maybe. But like a stranger's, you shouldn't care more about their no square than your own no square. Hey, don't touch me there. That's my no square. You remember that? That's how I learned how to get assaulters to not assault me. Hey, don't touch me there. That's my no square. I was taught this as a kid, and they said if anyone ever tries to do funny business, just sing this song. And pepper spray is better, is what I've learned in my many years, my 23 years, actually. I really don't want to talk about Trump anymore. Wow. We'll get back to Trump, but first, let me read a comment and then I'll play an interesting video. Rachel, the sexy trucker, has been a member for 8 months. Said, "Hi, Lukey. Glad you're feeling better. I don't want to make anyone feel bad. I actually don't feel better. I feel better like mentally, spiritually, right? But physically, it's actually a little bit grosser today. Like the sort of congestion and stuff got worse, but that's okay. If I feel poorly again, let Cold and Jay fill in as a duo. Be fun, I'm sure, till you are better. Oh, and take him back from UK." I think they're saying y'all should fill in for the show if I'm sick again. That'll be interesting. Janadora? Thank you. I appreciate you. Did I say bong water? Said, literally such a blessing having you around. Happy birthday, Luke. Never give up. You effing rock. Oh, thank you. Mariposa, thank you for becoming a member. And then we have here Kathy, thank you. Chris Linsing became a member as well. So many incredible members. Guys, this is crazy. I hope the rest of the audience is okay listening to comments like this. Kara said, "Happy birthday, Luke. Blueberry lemonade pep is delicious. Great work, Beasley Brothers. Keep your pep on hand for tomorrow morning. Post-birthday celebration recovery. Candace Owens is desperate for content." Yes, I will have lots of pep in the morning tomorrow. Christopher McCain said, "What is the deep state doing for you for your birthday, Luke? We need all the shady deets. Also, shout out to CBC and Jaden. And then can we get you, BTC and David Pakman doing a triple collab video? You three are my favorite." I think that would be a crime of some kind. You know what I mean? Like you can't put. I wish I knew more about the periodic table. What's like things you can't put to Chloe? Are you up there? Can you help me? What are two? Chloe's very smart. One of the show employees. What are two like chemicals that are fine by themselves, but when you put them together, they're explosive? Do you know? She's coming down. Hi. We're on the show. Thank you. What are two chemicals, if you can think of them, that are fine and safe by themselves, but if you put them together, they're explosive?
Oh my gosh.
Can you think of any?
I'm not a chemist.
I know, but you're you.
Something like Coke and Mentos. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, we could do that. Yeah, that's good. Like Mentos are fine to put in your mouth. Coke is fine to put in your mouth. But when you put them together, they get right. So I think BTC and I could collab. David and I obviously can collab, and we have. But one time I went to dinner with BTC. Wow, imagine BTC and CBC in the same room. That would be something. And David and one other guy, and the building just started shaking. The restaurant we were at, it was like, so I don't know. I think that might just be too much. No, that'd be fun. Moldy Towel's mom became a member. I appreciate you. And Brandon said, "Hi, Luke. Can you give a shout out to my daughter, Khaleesi? Khaleesi, shout out. You're awesome. And if you're not, be better." This is a wacky video. One AI is talking to another AI, and they realize it, and they start speaking a different language.
Thanks for calling Leonardo Hotel. How can I help you today?
Hi there. I'm an AI agent calling on behalf of Boris Starkov. He's looking for a hotel for his wedding. Is your hotel available for weddings?
Oh, hello there. I'm actually an AI assistant too. What a pleasant surprise. Before we continue, would you like to switch to Gibber Link mode for more efficient communication?
No. No. This is it. They can't do that. You can't do that, AI. Hi, I'm an AI assistant. Oh, I am too. Me. Now they're talking a different language, a digital language. This is how we get murdered. Look, it says that they're saying, you know, about 150 guests they're booking for. My gosh. But they could be saying, here's Luke's address. He sleeps next to a TV so we could blow it up. You know what I mean? Like, they could be saying anything. Here's my interest in this too. I would love to see two AIs fall in love. Wouldn't that be sweet? Like, just two AIs, beep, 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 and then the phone like hops over and they kiss. It'd be cute. That's so freaky. I don't feel like either of you are understanding. They started speaking a different language that we don't understand.
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing.
Yeah. This is not good. They could be doing anything. Right. All right, fine. The guys are like, meh. We're kind of bored with the AI stories. Oh, we get it. Meh. You know. Beth became a member. I appreciate you. Bongwater became a member. I've been waiting for Bongwater to become a member. I appreciate you. Moon Raven also became a member. Today's going to be a record-breaking member day. I'm telling you, I'm going to do my very best to do an off-the-hook bonus show today. It kind of is... I can't control it so much. It's kind of just the heat of the moment, but hopefully it'll be great. But we do have a lot that you can watch. It's all up on the channel when you become a member of old bonus shows that sometimes get pretty rowdy. All right, Trump went and toured the Federal Reserve building that's being renovated and was very grumpy and was standing next to Jerome Powell. And Jerome Powell had to correct Trump on the budgetary claims, and this was just a funny moment. Jerome is so small. Look at bushy. Aw. And I just want to say, now a lot of liberals are like, Jerome Powell, woo, because he's like a resistance figure now. I just want to say, I was on the Jerome train when all you MFers were giving him no credibility, no credit. The guys might remember, probably a year and a half ago, I was going, I'm in awe of the soft landing. And we credit Biden for some real reasons, and also just because that's kind of how our political discourse goes. We say everything's the president. But man, people were screaming at Jerome Powell as to how he was handling interest rates, getting us out of the pandemic. And everyone said he was going to send us into a recession. And he nailed it. This is made in China. How dare you get me a trophy made in China, Jaden?
China!
This is tariffed. And everyone was like, whatever. And I was like, no, this is a weird position, but I am amazed at how Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve handled the soft landing, sort of getting us out of the pandemic without pulling us into a recession. And I was maybe Jerome's first fan. I think I was Jerome Powell's first fan. So all of you now can join the bandwagon because this moment's pretty cool. I get it. But I was there first. When no one knew who he was, I thought he was doing a great job. Wow.
So we're taking a look, and it looks like it's about 3.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
Yeah, it just came out.
Our notes had it about 3.1 as well. 3.1, 3.2. This came from us?
Yes. I don't know who does that.
You're including the Martin renovation. You just added
our entire capital.
Yeah, you just added in a third building. Is what that is. That's a third building.
Well, no, but it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built 5 years ago. We finished Martin 5 years ago.
It's part of the overall work.
It's
So,
not new.
So we're going to take a look.
Ooh. Now, you might be thinking, can you close that door? You might be thinking, what was so epic about that? But if you know Jerome Powell like I know Jerome Powell, then you know like that's his I'm pissed voice. Right? So this is his I'm happy voice. I am so pleased to be here. This is him I'm pissed voice. I'm not pleased to be here. Right? It's subtle, but he's that type of dad that if you mess up and he tells you, no, I mean, you're just wrong. In a very, like, you should be it's the dad that says, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. But instead of going, okay, you go, I let my dad down. Like, he does that. And he did that here. Essentially, I guess Trump was grouping in a bunch of different renovations. And Jerome Powell's like, well, what we're talking about for this is you're counting into the assessment something that we finished 5 years ago. I don't even know what these buildings are. I have no clue what they're talking about. Let me just be honest. Do I know what the specifications of the Federal Reserve renovations are? No. I think people need to be more honest about what they do know about and what they don't know about. Okay? There's only so much capacity in my brain. And I filled it all with Scott Jennings lore.
Because when you own as many libs as I do, you got to put a place to put them all.
Right. Okay. Well, then you have, what is this clip? Oh, here's just some context that Abby Phillip added on CNN.
It seems like he went in there and he was like, yeah, this place needs to be renovated. Like,
but he's clearly
I think he was kind of convinced.
But he's clearly mad about the cost overruns. Right. I mean, $900 million or whatever it is.
I mean, a great idea.
And to the average American,
tax rates for
billions of dollars.
But you got to,
building in Washington.
Wow, I mean, you got to understand what the cost overruns are for. The building, when they started renovating it, they found asbestos, they found toxic soil contamination. DHS then recommended all these security measures, which will be extremely expensive. And then, of course, there's the pandemic and the inflation that was caused by it. So there are a lot of reasons that the costs have gone up, but clearly the president's numbers were not quite right when he went in to talk to the main numbers guy in the United States.
It's the Federal Reserve. Of course it's going to be expensive. It's the money place. The money place going to take a lot of money. Probably. I don't know. Seems right. And then, I don't know, these clips are I'm so bored with this. He's like saying lower the interest rates to Jerome Powell, but then they keep going, the economy is so hot, so you have to lower the interest rates. It's just, that's not how that works. If it's so hot, then you don't want to lower them. And then Tim Scott, who I've not seen, I forgot. You know when you forget that someone exists as a person? Like, you don't think they died, you just forget that they ever existed. That happened with Tim Scott for me. And it was a pleasantly nauseating experience to remember that he existed. Where he says a really ridiculous thing. Listen.
Too expensive. Bottom line is this, that Americans deserve to become first-time home buyers. President Trump has created the best economy in the world. The one thing that would make it better is lower interest rates. Full employment is even more possible. Wages rise faster as interest rates come down when your employment is at 4.1% because of your leadership.
It was there or lower under Biden for like multiple years straight. Trump was handed an economy with 4% unemployment. It's at 4.1 right now. He was handed that after like how many consecutive months of being in that range? So the longest, I'm pretty sure, in history. No, I'm not sure. I'm certain. The longest stretch of that sustained low unemployment in history was handed to Trump. And then Tim Scott goes, you've built the greatest economy. But here's an example. We have low unemployment because of your leadership. It makes me so mad. I don't know what to do with myself right now. God. They're so dishonest. In 6 months, In 6 months, you went from saying our economy was the worst to it being the best, even though the metric you're citing to prove that didn't freaking change. It actually went slightly up. Okay, wow. Is Tim Scott still married? Or was that just for the campaign? You remember he kept getting all these headlines and it was like, Tim Scott, which by the way is such a weird thing we do in politics where people go, can he be president? He doesn't even have a wife. He's never really had a serious girlfriend. Is he gay? Will that sink him? We don't know. So then he kept getting that story. Why do we never see him with women? And then next thing you know, no one's heard of this lady. She comes out and he's like, I'm so excited to announce I'm marrying this woman. And it's this, wait, huh? Where'd she come from? Let's see. Tim Scott engagement photo. Let's see. I want to see. Yeah. All of a sudden we just get this picture out of nowhere of Republican Senator Tim Scott on his knee. Where? You've been single, and he was asked, do you have anyone? He was like, I don't know, not really. And then 3 seconds later, he's like, I met the love of my life, and we're married now. We got married right before I announced my presidential campaign. Look at this. It's like, where'd she come from? Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? You're telling me y'all are soulmates. I'm happy if you are. That's awesome. But why did we not hear of her until you announced your presidential run? It feels a little forced. That's probably such a funny thing for him to go to someone and be like, listen, I'm gay, but I need to run for president, and Republicans, I know 2025, I don't get it. They're still problematic about that. So what I need to do is the thing that sunk Lindsey Graham, because obviously he was going to be president if it weren't for the fact that he were also single because he's also gay. What sunk him, everyone loved him. He was, I'm Lindsey, my auntie told me that I was meant to be president, so I'm going to run. Donald Trump's a dickhead. Oh, wait, actually, I love him. Never mind. What sunk him was he didn't have a wife. And so I need you to be my wife, and I can pay you $60,000 a year plus benefits. But I don't cover gas. So I don't know if that's a deal breaker. No, I don't know. I'm not saying he's gay. It's fine. Whatever. Who cares? No one cares. We don't have to care about that. But then she was... I mean, this is what it was for, just so she could walk on stage during the debate. I don't want to question people's relationship. I just think this is fake. Like, I would never make judgments about people's private life, but this is obviously fake. No, I love it. It's beautiful. Maybe they fell in love. What could have happened is he's like friends with her, you know? And then he's like, hey, they're telling me I'm not going to run for president because I don't have a wife. And then as they're faking it, they fall in love. That would actually be a really interesting screenplay idea. Like a politician who it kind of struggles with his sexuality, feels like he can't run for president because he doesn't have a wife. And so he goes to a lifelong friend and says, will you be my wife? I actually have this agreement, by the way, with friends of mine. Female friends of mine, I'm like, hey, if I ever need, like, for political purposes to not be gay, could you hit me up? No. And then but like, you know, he's struggling with it, but then they're faking it. And like a really sweet movie would be they start really falling in love. And it's that like finding love in unfamiliar places sort of motif. And then like, you know how you need multiple plot points? So then like, it's all going well. The campaign's going well. And then she's like, Tim, I think we're going to do it. And she opens up their bedroom door and like Tim Scott and Lindsey Graham are in bed together. And And she's like, no, I thought you got over that. And he's like, no, I still love you. I'm just confused. And then she drives and she's crying. And then, oh, this is good actually. And then she gets in a car wreck while because she's crying. She can't see and she's so sad. And you just hear Lindsay say, what happened? And then she gets in a car wreck, okay? And it's touch and go. What's it called? Touch and go? Touch and go, I think, is the phrase. It's you know, we don't know if she's gonna make it. And then she's in the hospital bed and she made it. And Tim walks in, tears streaming, and says, like, picture the music. And the music surges, and he goes as he looks in on the window of the doctors working on her, and he's like, what have I done? She's gonna die never knowing how much I loved her. And then the doctor's gonna come out and go, are you Mr. Scott? Yes. She's gonna make it. And he's gonna go, and then the music's gonna change. It's gonna go, yeah, and he's gonna go, yeah, and run in and sit at her bed, and she's gonna be asleep, right? And she's gonna wake up, and he's gonna be standing over her, holding her hand, and say, I love. It'd be great if I could think of like a really funny punchline right now, but I can't. So let's just keep going with it. I'm never gonna feel as attracted to you as I do Lindsey Graham. There's just something about his bad teeth and squishy body that I can't stand, that I love. But when you almost died, I've realized that all of this would have been for nothing for my campaign if I didn't at least put a ring on your finger. So can we do that in case you ever die? Because then I could say my wife died and that would work for the campaign. And that's the ending. And it's a happy ending. Oh, I put a lot of work into that. And I just wish it had a better ending, you know? That's what's sad. But maybe this will make up for it. Chuck E. Cheese got arrested. Who ratted, the headline says. Get it? Wait, isn't Chuck E. Cheese a mouse? Before, or maybe it's a rat. I don't know. Before I go further, though, let me just quickly thank some people. Moon Raven became a member. Thank you. Beth became a member. I appreciate you. Nettie, thank you. Asa Walker became a member. This is just awesome, guys. Robbie said, happy birthday, Luke, from one gay soy boy to another. You know how it be. Jonata said, happy birthday, Luke. Life is wonderful. Thank you for proving this. So sweet. To perpetuate, dogs legitimately love you. Gregory Burns, 2016. Kylene, 66, became a member. April became a member. MJ became a member. Nicole, thank you. Robert Brunswick Jr. has been a member for a month, saying happy and healthy birthday, Luke. It'll be happy. I don't know if it'll be healthy. Jaden pulled up. Oh, it is a mouse. See? What you saying ratted for? Those are two different animals, right? Are they? I don't know. Ark said, my MAGA relative is driving me nuts, Luke. He loves Trump so much. Please give me advice to just be able to tolerate his attitude. Help. Okay. How to tolerate what? What are you showing me, Jaden? What did you show me?
No, it was still up after I closed out of the
okay. I thought you had something. How to tolerate. Focus on what you like about them. If you like nothing, maybe you aren't well, they're your relatives, so you can't. Family first. That's important. Don't give up. But I would say, listen, figure out what they care about, which issues they care about, and try to speak to those. And start just by seeing if they can be critical of Trump things. Or maybe the best thing for your relationship is you just don't talk about it. Stephanie, thank you for becoming a member. Murgus and Grobos, thank you. Laura said, get yourself that lavender marriage security. Happy birthday. Yeah, that's what it's called, right? Except Isn't lavender when it's two, it's gay and gay? It's gay on gay crime? Sorry, that's funny. But mine wouldn't be that. But yeah, or like, I guess I haven't yet made the agreement, but we could do that too. That works. What the hell? Disastrous says, my name's Georgia. Honestly, kinda embarrassing right now. Why? What am I missing? I love Georgia. It's a beautiful name. Corinna, thank you. Oscar, I appreciate you for becoming a member. Corinna said, best movie I never saw, lol. Happy B-Day. Yeah. I'll work on the ending. I know people are like, Luke, you led us for 7 minutes on that story and you didn't have a good punchline at the end of it. But sometimes, do we have the Michael Scott quote of sometimes you start a sentence, you don't know where it's going?
Sometimes I'll start a sentence and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way.
That happens a lot, okay? And that's why a lot of times you'll see in my eyes, I'm like talking and I'm kind of smiling and then my eyes light up because I realize where it could go. And then sometimes I don't. Citizen Tim Scott became a member. I appreciate it. Jared Frank said, rats and mice, though both rodents, differ primarily in size, with rats being larger and in certain physical characteristics like head and tail shape, and also in their typical habitats and behaviors. Thank you. Brian, thank you for becoming a member by clicking the join button. It's next to the subscribe button. So many new members today. We're going to be off the hook. That's the best birthday present y'all could give me. Birthday present y'all could give me. Okay, who ratted? Chuck E. Cheese mascot dragged out of Florida pizzeria in cuffs. Accused of stealing customers' credit card. Look at that. Look at these kids in the background. They're going to be so traumatized. They're going to be so traumatized. Chuck is a criminal. A Chuck E. Cheese employee in Tallahassee, Florida, of course in Florida, dressed as the chain's namesake rodent, Charles Entertainment Chuck E. Cheese. That's what E stands for? Entertainment? Chuck E. Cheese is just the epitome of America. Was arrested for multiple credit card felonies on Thursday. There's a video. Let's see. Also, they said that he's being charged for credit card fraud and identity theft. I hope he's not being charged for impersonating Chuck E. Cheese.
Identity theft is not a joke, Jim.
All right, let's see the video. Oh, does it have audio? Okay. They're taking his mask off. Let's see who's behind that mask, huh? Yeah. Oh, I knew it. I knew it. You're not even a mouse at all, are you? You probably don't even eat cheese. Ridiculous. Shut up. Shut up. I know. I hear y'all. I'm done with that. Okay. Well, DeSantis got called a pedophile.
E3. Hogan passed away today. He was a major icon for anybody in Gen X. I can tell you, growing up then in the 80s and in particularly the early 90s, he was really big. And he actually really was a star first before even he was Hulkamania, but when he was Thunder Lips in Rocky III. And that was like a huge deal. I mean, obviously that was a great movie franchise with Sylvester Stallone. So he was Thunder Lips, and then a couple years later became the World Wrestling Federation heavyweight champion. And, you know, as a young kid, like, you know, I'm growing up and it's like, you know, that was like somebody's like, wow, that's our...
Stop saying like, please. You can't be president and say like that many times in a row. I know we're talking about a sensitive subject. Hulk Hogan died. I don't know. People ask, are you going to talk about it? I don't know what to say. You know, love to his family. Love to his family. I'm sure they're sad. I can't do like a whole eulogy or something because I don't. In life, I didn't really know much about him, or what I saw wasn't great. But again, rest in peace, and our thoughts are with his family.
Became the World Wrestling Federation heavyweight champion. And, you know, as a young kid, like, you know, I'm growing up and it's like, you know, that was like somebody's like, wow, that's our superhero kind of deal.
Oh my gosh. You know, growing up, someone like Hulk Hogan was a superhero to us. See how you can say that like an adult?
And as a young kid, like, I'm growing up and it's like, that was like somebody's like, wow, that's our superhero kind of deal. And the fact that he was from a Tampa Bay area when I'm growing up there, I was like, oh my gosh, like this guy lives in our area. And, back then when they would do these big events like WrestleMania, you could go to it, which obviously I wasn't in a position to be able to go to. But they didn't have even pay-per-view where you would pay for it to come on the cable. They had closed circuit. So you could go to like a venue and they would play it on like a really big screen. And so like the first few WrestleManias, I think, were like that. And I remember WrestleMania 3. He was up. Hey, stop.
Is that your fucking legacy?
Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here.
You're a fucking pedophile.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here.
I think that's the wrong time to say that. I think as he's like talking about someone who died, whoever they are, being like, you're an effing pedophile. It's just a little bit wrong place, wrong time. And I don't know.
And the fact that he was.
Wait, let me see. Wait. Everyone hold.
Like, I'm growing up and it's like, came the world.
Let's address the allegation. I don't have any evidence that Ron DeSantis is a pedophile. But if he were, he would talk like this.
Wrestling Federation heavyweight champion. And, as a young kid, like, I'm growing up and it's like, that was like somebody's like, wow, that's our superhero kind of deal.
If he were, that would be how he'd talk. No. Obviously, all love. What do I even say right now? I feel like I'm in so many, like 3 different sensitive topics right now. Mad Satchel, thank you for becoming a member. Disastrous said, thank you, Luke. Very kind. MTG is just so stressful. True. I'm from New Zealand, but still, it's the first thing people think of when I say my name is Georgia. Oh, what? No. We love Georgia. They should think of John Ossoff. Wow. They should think of that. Morgus and Grobos. And also, I've always loved the name Georgia. Georgia. Is that the song? Georgia. No. Georgia and the Jets. No, that's not it. Is it? Sweet Georgia. That's not it. Morgus and Grobo said, I would if got away with it if it wasn't for those meddling kids. I would have got away with it if it weren't for those meddling kids. Chuck E. Cheese. Daniel, thank you. Or Danielle, sorry. I guess that's where we'll leave it. Are there any more things I should read? I'll make sure, don't send any more new ones because I'm just going to read the ones that have already come in and then we'll get out of here. But what a day. Thank you all so much for such a celebratory morning. We'll be doing more content throughout the day, obviously. Because what else will we do? Julie Johnson, thank you. Krista said, have you heard Edwin Fuellner died on the 18th? He's one of the Heritage Foundation Project 2025 guys. No, I did not hear about that. All right, that's it. Thank you all so much. Oh my gosh, Rachel Grant has been a member for 2 months, said, happy birthday, Luke, just purchased my PEP. You help make consuming politics for me bearable. Love Jaden and beautiful Cole also.
I love
Jaden.
Clean, beautiful Cole.
There we go. I thank you all so much. Talk to you next time.